Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 40 Before Noon podcast. A bit of a weird one today due to the fact that I'm not saying you're the part that's a bit weird.
I was thinking then you started off, you started off nicely, a bit of a weird one. Here's
No.
Bateson. Hi, guys.
God, no, it's a bit of a weird one in the sense that Zoo is not here. It's for like the first time ever, and it's because he couldn't get off work, unfortunately. We planned on drinking this podcast, but Bateson has a Frappuccino in front of him, so we are going to hold off. Yep. Because I am a little bit behind on work as well. So it's just going to be us talking. And
I can come back. If you want to ever get slaughtered for an hour, I am down. Until I've got all summer basically.
All right, perfect.
Just shame what happened, like the planning and stuff. But I can get slaughtered with you definitely for another hour sometime. That
works. And we need to plan our Vegas trip as well, because I think we talked about doing that in August too.
Been too long. Over 2 years, hasn't it, since we've seen each other?
It's been a really long time.
Last time we saw each other before lockdown actually was Vegas.
It was when you smashed your face on the cement.
Yeah, the other guy didn't see it coming.
God. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but I think for those of you guys that are listening, you're probably wondering how we became friends. Hopefully you call it a friendship. We don't call it acquaintances around here.
Yeah.
Okay. Originally, I remember, this is super weird, but it had to have been like 5 years ago. It was before me and Embo had ever moved in together. He had traveled over here from Texas, and I got like a notification on my phone that said Bateson87 has followed you back. And I was like, I hate to gas you up. It really pisses me off to gas you up, but I was so fired up. I'm like, no fucking way. Like, this is awesome. And like, push come to shove, you had invited me into Fatal was the thing.
What a nice guy I am, honestly. I don't know.
It had to have been slim fucking pickings at that time for people to get in there, is what it felt like.
No, I don't know. It was so you reckon 5 years ago, which would have been 2017, right?
Yeah.
So I'd started content 2012, and then I always go through stages where I just block everything out. I block the whole community out, not as a selfish thing, but I just like focus on myself, and I don't really look towards finding new people to watch and see what no one else is doing. You just concentrate on your own. You probably do the same, do you? You concentrate on your own. You don't really look elsewhere.
You have your group basically, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's basically it. But it's nothing personal. It's just like you just want to focus on your own thing. The more people you bring in, the more people you involve yourself in, the more trouble usually comes with it. Well, for me anyway. So probably around that stage, I was like, no, I started back on Twitch, didn't I? I was like, right, who are all these Twitch streamers? Let's go and have a look who's streaming on Twitch around these hours. I was like, who can I put in the grave? No. So I was like, so obviously I was streaming like 10 a.m. and then you were always the person who was either finishing up around when I was starting or streaming during the same time. So I was like, well, Buck's a good streamer. I used to chill with you, Pete. Used to watch Pete's streams, and now that's all I can remember. And then Matt Zuckerberg fucking pulled his pants down, showed a little bit of tail.
All right, for God's sake. One of the things I was going to bring up as well is Pistol Pete has become one of your really good friends, I assume.
Yep.
He was originally blocked. Like you had him blocked, and I swear there's like this whole process of him getting unblocked, and then next thing you know, he was sleeping in the same hotel room with you. Can we give a little like insight on that?
So
what the hell happened? Yeah.
Well, he was a dick. Like I remember his tweets. he was like a proper ego guy. I can't remember what he said. He was like he was talking shit about me on his stream. I can swear, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So he was giving me stick, and I can't remember. Someone tweeted me like, "Oh, Pistol Pete's going off," and I was like, "Who the fuck is Pistol Pete?" And he must have been indirect because he tweeted about me. And I was like, "Who the fuck are you?" And then he goes, "Who the fuck are you? How do you not know who I am?" And I was like,
"No way you said that."
So it was something along them lines. I'm sure it was proper obnoxious. And I was like, "You know, he's been funny." I didn't see it as funny because I didn't know the guy. So I was like, "Fuck that!" No, blocked. But then obviously I saw he streamed, and then I was in his stream one time, and he just didn't come across as the person that I saw on the tweet. But it's the same with a lot of people on Twitter. You probably think on Twitter someone looks absolutely awesome, but in real life he's a knob. Or you might think on Twitter someone looks absolutely like a wanker, don't want anything to do with him, but in real life he's a complete opposite. And that was what I got from Pete, because you can't judge someone on text. You can only judge someone on like the way they are on video, and yeah, like you don't even come across anybody on Twitter because you don't even tweet.
That's true.
I'm
I've
saying that
held
no
off
one
on
does that.
tweeting.
Yeah, tweets a
Not a
bit.
lot of people do. I think,
Uh,
and I'm not trying to throw you under the bus at all. I think a lot of people had that opinion about you at first too, versus like Twitter versus like real life you.
yeah.
And I think there was a transition period where you just like completely became yourself on the internet and you kind of stopped caring. And
Well,
what I guess
the
like,
thing with that was streaming. Streaming, people get to see you, and people looked at my tweets and probably thought, "Wow, what a wanker." But then I started streaming, and like, wow, he actually is a wanker, but he's been the same person he is on his tweets, you know. And you know me, Buck. Like I'm the
yeah, no,
same in
I
real
know.
life, exactly the same. Maybe a
And
little bit,
that's the
yeah,
kind of the scary thing about you and your tweets in real life is the fact that you are exactly the same. But no, it's kind of become, I don't know. It was like the whole thing where, you know, people would put up like the whole Bateson blocked me bullshit, like all that stuff until yeah, like you can do TikToks, you do your stream and you like, I see everybody's reaction. You'll tell some kid just to fuck off and everybody just like laughs. Like the
yeah.
whole narrative like completely changes. And like you said, I guess real life versus Twitter is
Yeah,
completely different.
well, yeah. It's the animosity. Like we don't have the animosity because obviously you've got your face all over the internet. I've got my face all over the internet. But these little skid mark wearing Y front, like you know, they're not even white Y fronts, are like this horrible orange because the parents can't even wash the underpants correctly. Like they're the type of people sat there in the swamp ass typing tweets with like this little shitty mustache which is coming through, big pimple on the forehead. And that's where you gotta look at it, right? Because these people don't have a face, they don't have a name. They're usually a footballer with an X in the username, like Insane Magic. I'm going to use that name because he's popping on my timeline quite a bit at the moment, but he's quite funny. But I don't know, it's hard to connect with people on Twitter when it's not them. Like, it's probably easier for us to connect with people, other YouTubers, because we know exactly who they are, you know, but it's hard to connect with a username which is nothing relevant to them.
That's funny. Have you ever had somebody, because we were going to, one of the questions I was going to ask you was like the funniest fan interaction you've ever had. Have you ever had somebody in real life come up to you and like tell you they were blocked?
Yes. I've had a YouTuber come up to me and tell me that.
No way.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was.
Was it at an event or where was
It
it?
was an event. I can't remember who it was. Really awkward because he come on. Marshall was with me. He comes and goes, "Oh, I'm blocked on Twitter." I was like, "What do you want? A medal?" Just walked off. And I can't remember who it was. It was an EA event, so it must have been someone at an EA event who we know, but I can't remember who it was.
Did you unblock him afterwards, or I'm assuming not
Probably
if you
not.
don't remember the name?
No, probably not. If I've no.
That's incredible. Have you
It's
had
yeah,
like?
it's weird.
Have you had, because I remember when we were at the Crown Cup together, we went to like we walked around London and we were trying to find like the jerseys so we get them signed and stuff.
Yeah.
And that kid came up to you in the
I
in the
remember
football
that.
store. Do you remember that? Yeah, he came up
Yeah.
to you in the football store and he's like, "Oh, Bateson, can I get a photo?" And took the photo of you. And it was like when you had first started growing out your facial hair. And you looked at me afterwards, and I was like, "You fucking dickhead!" After this, you're like, "Oh, surprised he recognized me." I'm like, "You're such an idiot, man! Like, fuck off."
Oh no, yeah. So I pulled up the picture recently of me. Someone was asking how I met Henri, and I pulled it up from the Twitch Crown Cup of when we were hunting for the jerseys, and I was like, "Bloody hell, my facial hair was like tiny, minuscule, wasn't it? Like, I didn't even notice it." But yeah, it was funny, and I got recognised quite a bit on that trip. Pieface did as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
People
no,
and yourself. So a
yeah,
lot of
I'm
people
just
recognise you.
at the event, but nowhere else. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I was gonna say, have you had any, I guess, non-YouTuber funny interaction where like somebody's come up to you, like maybe like the weirdest place you've been recognized?
In a toilet, in a
No
queue,
way.
urinal. Like, yeah, it's a strange one. It's like, okay. It's like, oh, massive fan, watch your streams. And stood there like, all right. Now that was a weird. I can't remember what happened after. I was pretty fast out of that place.
Where was it in England somewhere, or where was it?
Yeah, it would have been at a pub in probably in Kendal, or maybe it was down south. I can't remember. You've seen pubs in England, haven't you?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they have the things all right next to each other. and people looking at you like, "Oh, awesome videos, mate." One-handed. I'm like, all right, mate. Yeah, a bit random, but honestly, I don't really get recognised that often, and when I do, people are very polite because obviously you think that I'm a normal person until you see me in real life and realise that I'm actually
You're
not a normal person.
6'4". Yeah,
Six
you're
foot
huge.
five, 6'5", like
Yeah, that's a
40 odd.
stretch.
Well, I am stretched. Like it's my spine, right? Because I'm sat on these gaming chairs. When I stand up straight, like I love this book. That's 6'5" right there. But then gaming, just little hang out.
God, have there ever been? Because I think the first time we met was we did the Prime one together, and then we did the like the Kappa Cup thing together. Where we played against the Sidemen,
Yeah.
and that like wasn't announced at all. Where I guess like we were gonna be playing on that pitch, and we did like the 5-a-side thing, and then just out of nowhere, there was just like 100 kids lined up outside the gate, and they're all just screaming Miniminter the entire time.
Yeah.
Is there any? I guess aside from, it probably is them. Is it, if you're ever like with them at all, like the Sidemen, is it just chaos the entire time in terms of like the second they get recognized by one person, it's just kind of over with?
Yes, Simon especially. I've been a few times walking with him side by side. Obviously, I knew them all before the Simon. Like I knew Simon when he was the cameraman of KSI. He was just
That's
a friend
crazy.
of KSI. And me and him, we got some bootleg footage at Gamescom. No one knew who he was. Of like putting a stand up and recording a screen on our phones. So we had exclusive FIFA 16 gameplay from Gamescom. that
No
was what
way.
that's what we used to do. And then 1 or 2 years later, the Simon came out, which is obviously the biggest thing around. But now Simon, untouchable, absolutely untouchable. And we saw that when we went to the charity match, which was might have been the YouTube All Stars versus the Sidemen, and it was at Charlton's ground, and we had a coach there, and the whole streets were lined with people. Like it was the first crowded event. We had the Wembley Cup, no crowd. This one had crowd, and it was nuts. Absolutely
How crazy
nuts.
of an experience was that? Like, I know you've done the football matches and stuff before. Is that the coolest one? I know, didn't you play in like Barcelona Stadium though too?
Yeah, but that had no that had no fans either. You know.
Okay, I was gonna say that's the one that everybody memes the photo of when Barcelona's losing. And
No,
they
that's
say
the one
that you
I
need to
mean.
come on.
I tweeted it.
Everybody else memes it too, bro. You
yeah, but now I own
it.
it. Now I steal it off them. Anyone who memes me and I find it funny, I'll steal it off them and tweet it myself, and then they'll feel like knobs. So I
no, because you've done that to me a million times. Where I'll take the piss out of you out of like some joke,
and
then
steal
you completely. Yeah, no, that's why I don't even tweet anymore. I'm just kind of over it. So
well, I wish you
like
did, because I've got no
ideas.
Well, I've got no ideas, so I'm like stuck. I want people to meme me, but they're not doing it anymore. No, the best game was that one was good, but I was on the bench for 90 minutes.
You didn't play?
No, I was opening packs on his lightning round on a Friday evening, so I had to be.
No, you were not.
That's on my phone on the bench. There's a picture of me doing it. I was like, I don't really want to play this game, and JJ goes, "Oh, come on!" So I came on, and Marcus Butler was there, and they threw me in centre defensive midfielder, and I came on for 2 minutes, and I brought Marcus Butler's toe.
Is that where you slide tackled somebody? Was it, what game was that?
No, that was Southampton. That was a dive as well. That was a dive.
That was not, dude.
No, it was. He admitted it was a dive. No, I didn't touch him.
Oh, really?
No, that's why I was so angry, because I didn't touch him. He dived.
You got up and was just you were giving it to the ref, dude. Afterwards.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm an honest guy. It was a pen. I'm like, all right, penalty. But I didn't touch him. I was fuming. I was even watching the replay, hoping it would show it.
I don't think VAR was around at that time.
No, it should have been though. Absolutely ridiculous from him. But my best game was the Wembley Cup, when it had a crowd, and I was sat on the bench for a majority of the game, but I was sat next to Patrick Kluivert. And having him,
sick.
Oh, it was awesome. He's like, "Do you want to play?" I was like, "Nah, not really." I was like, "I'm just enjoying the moment." He's like, you should go on. It's awesome." I was like, "Nah, I'm all good." And anyway, I think Stuart Pearce or someone was a manager. I think he might have passed away. Remember the guy who used to play for Chelsea?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now. Bald guy. Ray? No, I'm having Stuart Pearce. And Stuart Pearce is like, "Right, you go on." I was like, "Right, where do you want me, boss?" He thinking centre back, thinking centre midfield. He goes, "Centre forward." I was like, "You what?" So he sent me on. And I was like, I have no idea what to do. Jamie Carragher's pinging balls over the top. My shorts are falling down. Got the tightest shirt in the world, the baggiest shorts. Did a 1-2 pass with Perez.
The one where you did the little spin and then flipped it over.
wasn't just any
Do you
spin,
remember?
mate. Yeah, if it's got a name after it, it's not just a spin, it's a McGeady spin, all right? It's an
I
absolute,
don't think
it's a 5-star skin on FIFA.
I don't think that was a McGeady spin.
No, it definitely
It's
was
a
if you speed it up, it's a McGeady spin. But
you angle the
unfortunately,
camera the right way.
yeah, and then I was blowing my ass. When Carragher sent that ball over the top, I nearly forearm smashed. What's his name? Jimmy Conrad in the face. He was
Oh
inches
no.
away from getting his jaw absolutely clashed. If you check the replay, but you'll see my arm like that, like ready to like take his jaw out. And then when I got subbed off, Patrick Kluivert was there waiting to give me a hug, which I thought was absolutely awesome. And then we won the cup. And then there was a stage, and it was wet, and it was wood, and I had studs on, and I dislocated my knee and fell over. And
Are you kidding me?
No, but I left that game in an ambulance. I went to hospital. They thought I'd broken my back.
Oh my, dude. What's with you and falling, dude?
I just enjoy it. You know, I like being the center of attention. Like the best thing from that was I was lying on the floor of the changing rooms, and I went in there while everyone else was celebrating, and there was Carragher, Kluivert, and I can't remember who the other icon was. And footballers, when they get changed, they don't care about manhoods. They don't care about angles. They're like, "Are you all right?" Massive dong around. I was like, "All right, I'm good." I think I might need an ambulance though. There's a picture of me tweeting from the floor of a medic behind me. So yeah, it was a rough time. It was.
I don't know how I never heard of that. Aside from those cups, which I mean, those are obviously like crazy cool experiences. I know you've worked with a load of other like athletes and stuff as well. I remember one of the stories you were telling me because you worked with Liverpool a few times, and I can't remember who the person was. But you were talking about how you went back into like the Liverpool training ground, and they said hi to you like the second or third time you come in, like to the point where they remembered you.
Yeah,
Do you remember who that was? Was it Karius?
Yeah, the only reason it was Karius is because initially I was doing a Konami event where there was me, Joe Gomez, Karius, Divock Origi. He's leaving now. And there was someone else who I can't remember who it was. And Karius was introduced to me as a FIFA player. And I think he clicked in his head that I worked for EA because all he did through the Konami shoot was ask me if he could get a 99 rated pro player card.
No way.
And I was like, no. I was like, I'm just make videos. He's like, okay. And then he saw me at presenting the player month to Sadio Mane. He's like, still no 99 card? I was like, I don't work for EA. I was like, I do YouTube. And I think I went back a couple of months later, and I was doing it to, who was it? Divock. And he saw me again. And he goes, this time, 2 years. And I'm like, no. I was like, I still don't work for EA. so he was doing my head in. But yeah, I've never met an obnoxious footballer. Everyone's been cool, apart from one. But that might have just been a bad day.
Yeah,
do you know who that guy is?
I don't know, and I didn't want to put you on the spot either.
Hector Bellerin.
Really?
Random one. I think I might have caught him on a bad day. The only person who's never smiled and been quite aggressive was like, nope, not doing that. Speak to my management and walked off. I was like, wow.
What was the event?
Madden. It was a Madden event in London.
Oh wow.
So it was an invited event. And I was asking him for a picture. And he's like, nope, management won't let me. He goes, if you want a picture, speak to management, and just walked off. I was like, all right. Leaders.
Damn.
In front of all my friends, Marshall was there as well. Marshall's like, wow, he's been shut down by Hector Bellerin. Like, no.
Marshall's probably eating that shit up, dude.
He reminds me all the time. Yeah, he reminds me all the time. Little knob.
Before, because I know I'm going to forget it basically. Who was the person that in Miami Pistol Pete asked to take a photo with and the guy denied him? There was wasn't there? It was like some big NFL player, some sort of celebrity.
I think it was OBJ.
I think it was. I think you put out a tweet about it.
Beckham. Yeah, it's Beckham Jr. I didn't even attempt to go for it. I was like, there's no chance because he had like a massive entourage.
Yeah.
You weren't there, were you? No, so it was
no. I think it was you and Zwebeck and Pete.
Yeah, so it's called the EA Sports Bowl. So it was at where the Miami Heat play. It was in there, so it was like a live concert, but then there was a VIP section which we were able to be a part of. And basically, I had to go up 3 floors to get to the top where the VIPs were. But you had to come through the middle bar. Now, Corey had managed to get us into the middle bar, so we had to see everyone coming through security and walking through the bar, and that's where we saw all the celebrities. OBJ, Akinfenwa was there, like loads of random pictures, but OBJ had like people around him, left, right, and center. And Pete's like, "I'm gonna shoot my shot. I'm gonna get a picture." I was like, "Pete, if I was you, I was like, I've read the room, and it doesn't look like that's gonna happen." So he's like, "Oh, he's getting a drink," and then Pete goes up to him straight away. There's like bounce. Have you seen that video recently? It's an American sports where there's two people, a basketball game, sat there, a woman and a man, and about 3 seats down this side was a security guard, and he's just got his eyes locked on the woman.
Where they like ran on the court, right?
One of them ran on the court. As soon as she runs, that security guard's boom on her. So that's what happened with Pete. minus the rugby tackle. So Pete got up. He locked eyes on OBJ. He was on it. He's like, "Oh, my dad's gonna love me." Probably loves him anyway. But Pete locked eyes. Security guard saw him lock eyes, and then Pete's like really excited. "Oh, I'm getting it. Bang, like blocked." He's like, "Nope, not happening." And Pete's like, "Oh." Tail between the leg walk backs and goes, "Maybe I should have read the room a little bit better." You know?
That's incredible. I knew I was going to forget that, but what I wanted to say was I became like a fan of Hector Bellerin a long time ago, and the only reason why was the YouTube video that he did with Chris MD. Like, because he was so so that's why it's almost like surprising for me to hear that he was kind of
that's
why
I've seen that as well. Like, I probably thought it could have been a bad day. There's like loads of footballers who you think, "Oh, they look amazing." You probably think Mahrez, Mahrez. You probably think, "Oh, he's a really, really nice guy." But there's a video out there with him and Spencer, and it's the most. And Spencer was like the number one back in the day, wasn't he, with like footballers and stuff.
Okay.
And he did a video with Mahrez at Leicester, and Mahrez was so rude to him. Like really rude, really horrible person. Spencer was like, he had to do an apology for the video saying, "Look, he was just like this all day. Couldn't edit it any better. It's just how he is." But then FG was like, no, he's a nice guy. But he's worked with Mahrez and he's realised he's a bit of an interesting person is Mahrez. Thankfully, I've never met him or had to deal
That's
with
crazy.
him. Yeah. Crazy.
Is it just, I guess I just don't understand. I mean, they know everybody. They meet everybody. I guess like some people just look down on like YouTubers and the video game stuff if they're not necessarily in the scene, or just maybe they're just kind of dicks in general. I don't know.
I'll probably go for the dicks in general. Like if you're going to be a dick for one person, you're going to be a dick to everyone, aren't you?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, you're not going to isolate gamers. Well, you play Xbox. Fucking hate you, you weird little human.
You fucking loser.
But I have heard like there's been some weird incidents with him and stuff. So thankfully, I've not had to do anything with him. One
of the coolest things I remember you doing was you went to America. I don't want to say it was Boston. It might have been Boston. Where you wasn't it the cover shoot for one of the FIFAs, and you got to sit down with Van Dijk and like interview him.
Oh, dude,
how was that?
That was the best thing I've done, hands down. Best opportunity I've been given. It was a couple of months after we won the Champions League, so it was FIFA 20, I believe.
Okay.
The Liverpool team was in Boston. They had the Champions League trophy with them as well. And someone said, "Do you want to go there for the cover shoot?" I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, for the cover shoot, and you get to interview Virgil Van Dijk." And I was like, "You must be pulling my leg." And it was a last minute thing, and I remember I had to rearrange like a family trip. I was like, "Natalie, like, this is Virgil Van Dijk. I would much rather make love to this guy than you." So,
Jesus, man.
So that was my way. That was my way into Boston. So flew to New York. My flight to Boston got cancelled. It was literally it was a 12-hour thing. I was there for like 24 hours, and I was back in on the flight back to England. But my flight got cancelled from New York to Boston, so I had to get an Uber from New York to Boston, and I got there at 6 a.m. in the morning, and I had to be doing the thing at 12. So I had no sleep. I was absolutely buzzing for it. And then we got put into what's the place called? It's a Red Sox stadium, isn't it? Boston.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Fenway Park. That was it. Yeah. So it looked really old school. Really, like it looked like it had not been touched in years. Just randomly was plonked there. Really old school. And we were put into like a box. So it was like a room, and we were given like food, drink, and then Virgil came in, and he's like, "Oh, what do you want me to do?" EA told him what to do. He was like, "Right, do you guys mind if I get naked?" I was like, "What?" So Virgil took his top off. which I never wish I got that in the video. I never. But he stripped off into the new Liverpool kit ready for his photo shoot, and we walked round to the top of the stadium where we're going to do the interviews. And I was thinking, I am knackered. I have no idea what I'm going to ask him, but hopefully he's like up for doing it, and he's happy to do it. And generally, he's one of the most enjoyable people I've worked with. Like, he just helps it be so easy. I don't know if you ever watched interviews of him and stuff. He's just naturally funny and easy to talk to.
I haven't watched interviews. I watched like the most recent thing with Liverpool where they surprised the guy that worked at the supermarket and they took him. I don't even know if you would have seen that. I swear it was like,
as well, innit?
yeah, no, super, super nice the entire time. And no, he seems like a super personable person.
Yeah.
On shoots like that, do you like, because you said you didn't even know what you're going to ask him. You don't come up with the questions. Do they just cue it to you and then you ask him? Is that how it works? Or
No.
do you go in with any yourself?
So I asked questions on Twitter because it was like under NDA what I was doing. So I wasn't able to tell people what the plan. Dude, I should have put my coffee in a red cup and then we're like, we're drinking.
Yeah, this is just water right here. I'm too lazy to do dishes.
This is whiskey. So I'd ask on Twitter, like, some questions. If you're going to ever speak to Virgil, what would you ask him? And I think I wrote down like 10 questions. I give it to like EA to look at, and they were like, yeah, you can ask them. And I was thinking there was some questions which I really didn't want to ask him because it puts him in but like, I think one of them was, how did it feel being isolated from the Southampton team when you were trying to force your transfer to Liverpool? I was like, I am not asking that question.
Yeah, no, that's just too awkward.
So you just use your common sense, really. But he was happy as Larry. I've met him before. I've met him a few times before. I met him when he was at Southampton. I presented him with a Player of the Month as well. So I'd already spoken to him. And then this was the third time. So he recognised me when I met him. And I think he recognised Matt as well. So it was...
oh, I forgot Matt HD was there too.
Yeah, who the fuck invited that guy? So yeah, Matt was there. So he did the same thing as me. And I think there was someone else as well. I can't remember exactly who it was. Fun though.
That sounds super fun. This is a random question that I don't even know if anybody would know the answer to it. Do you remember the first person you ever presented a Player of the Month to, ever? Because I used to see everybody do it, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the entire world. And I assume you've done it loads of times now.
Yeah. Do you know who it is?
No, I don't know who it is. I'm
have a guess.
Curious.
Have a guess.
I do. If you're telling me you did it for Van Dijk at Southampton, I would have no clue.
No.
I assume it's got to be somebody at Liverpool.
I met Virgil at a launch of FIFA when he was at Southampton. But I have presented in the Player of the Month.
I, honest to God, could not tell you. I have no guess.
Right, so I can list them off because it's literally like 5 people, right?
Oh, it's only 5, okay.
Yeah, so I've gifted to Mane, Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, and then Harry Kane. Harry Kane was the first one. That's
pretty sick.
Yeah, randomly I was invited down to London to go to Spurs' new training centre. I met Harry Kane. Very difficult to understand. Yeah.
I didn't think he was that difficult to understand, and I sat next to him for like 4 hours that day.
I'm Northern though. If you know the way I speak, like, it's difficult to understand the way some people speak. Like, I don't understand Marshall. I probably understand Marshall a lot better than you understand Marshall. Or True Geordie. Like, Trudeau's got a very broad accent now, so it's very Northern, but it's also very easily understandable. Whereas Harry Kane's was like, I don't know, it's very fluidy. Very difficult to understand.
Yeah,
and he doesn't spit either.
I literally had zero issue whatsoever understanding him. One of the things I was going to ask and touch on, because you talked about how you knew like KSI and Simon and all these guys. How did you become friends with them? Like, before, I don't want to say before they were anything, but I guess how did it all come about? Like, I guess like any of the, like, them or YouTubers in general.
So I was quite naturally... I was very lucky.
Social.
Oh, no, I am naturally social. No, but I'm very lucky. I was very lucky when I started YouTube. I was very lucky. There's a few instances where we did. I was actually streaming, which was where it started for me. I streamed on Twitch 2012. There's loads of people which are still sub to me now, which remind me when it was. And I used to stream with no camera. And the Penfez popped in my stream one time, and I got chatting to Nep. And Nep was like giving me hints. I was doing thumbnails for Nep. And then I started webcam. Actually, maybe not even webcam, but 2013. My stream was getting a little bit bigger. Twitch back then was tiny. Like the biggest
Yeah.
streamer was FIFA streamer was getting like 1,000 views. I was averaging like 700 views, which is still mental.
No,
But
that's
that was like
crazy. Yeah.
that was really high numbers. But there was only me, Skills, Nep, quite a few other people. You were around then.
I think Spencer Owen was a big one too, wasn't it? And Chris MD as well,
No?
or would that be too early for them?
Yeah, way too early for them. This is
Oh
2012. Yeah.
wow.
So they
Okay.
would have popped in maybe 14, 15, 16. So I was given 2 years to like get in there and get lucky. And that's probably why I'm at the size I am now. Because obviously I've plateaued now. I've hit the ceiling. I'm done. It's nearly retirement for me. But KSI was doing the pink slips. I love pink
Yeah, I
slips.
remember
I was
those.
seen as like
Yeah.
one of the sweatiest FIFA players in the game on stream, and everyone was like, "Oh, I used to be wagering my viewers for 100,000 coins and stuff and taking the money." And then I was streaming the same time as KSI, and they were like, "Play Bateson," and then I smashed him, and he's like,
Oh
"Right, double it,"
God.
and that was only for one player, and he's like, I can beat him," and he's like, "Right, double or nothing," and I fucking smashed him again and took his whole team of the year. And back in the day, like this was This was a team which cash value was worth like £1,100 or £1,200. So I got the team off him, trade offered it, got it on my account. I sold it for real money and bought a new
Oh my
computer.
God.
No,
No
but
way.
no. So what I did was I sold the players to get funds to buy a new computer so I could upgrade the stream. Because have you ever seen my streaming setup?
Not the old one, no.
Oh, dude, it was like a couch. It was an all-in-one PC. It was horrific. But I never had a PC, so I was like, right, I'm going to treat myself to a new PC. So yeah, I used that money to do that, and then I was able to create YouTube videos and do better stuff on stream. So I changed what a lot of people probably thought was like a money grab into upgrading your equipment, which is what I always tell people to do. When you can upgrade your equipment, do it because it'll make the quality of stuff a lot better.
I remember one of the stories you told too was how you originally had a coin sponsor to like kind of fund the fact that this is what you wanted to do, and it kind of allowed you to do that too, right? At the very beginning.
Yeah, it sped up the process. Now, I took a massive risk because I think it was 2012, 2013. I had a full-time job. It was a well-paid job as well for what it was. But I didn't enjoy it. And I felt like something would click with YouTube. I started getting good views. I started making money, not to the money I was earning on YouTube, on real life, sorry.
Yeah.
But coin sponsors came around and coin sponsors paid big money. Like they made my income be 2 times more than it was getting paid working as a mechanic.
Oh
So
my God.
I made the choice then. I was like, right, do I take it? How long will coin sponsors stay around? EA didn't really seem to be doing anything about it. And it's like free money at the end of the day. You just shout out like, oh, you want free Ultimate Team coins? Because they weren't banning accounts either, were they? They weren't doing
No,
anything.
I was going to say back in the day, they did nothing at all. There was like
Yeah.
no threat whatsoever. Yeah.
So it was like, oh yeah, just take the money, shout out this in your videos, amazing. And they weren't banning anyone, no one was getting repercussions of it. So I was like, yeah, I'll do this. I don't know how long it'll last. So I sat down with Natalie, sat down with a few of my family members. I was like, I'm gonna do this full time. And I did it for a long, long time. But then something happened where he decided, right, don't like coin sponsors anymore. Chew boy, no. And he's like, right, we're gonna ban some people and show that we're better than coin sponsors. And I was like, you prick. And he targeted
Almost
me.
like make example, like make an example of a few
Yeah,
people to scare
yeah,
everyone.
yeah. And who was a big spender and who always is a big spender? Myself. So even though I was getting coin sponsor money, I was not buying coins. I was using the coin sponsor money to buy FIFA points to like load on the account and do things naturally. So then EA couldn't touch my account. But then
Yeah.
Chewboy took it upon himself to actually ban me because I was advertising coins, even though I was spending legitimate money. And I was like, you knobhead. And he repeatedly banned me every 2 weeks and just caused
How
loads of
long did that go on for?
until I stopped coin sponsoring. He's like, right,
Really?
he's like, right, if you stop coin sponsoring, we won't touch you. I was like, all right, new FIFA, fresh start, let's make the change. So I loaded up £20,000 worth of FIFA points ready for the new FIFA. And I had not advertised coins for a long, long time, maybe like 3 months. And then I got an email, your account's been banned for advertising coins. I was like, chew. I was like, we literally had a promise that you were not going to ban me. It's like, oh, they've gone back on old video and found it, but the bandstands. I was like, you tosser. But I thought,
Did you
right,
ever get the money back or no?
no. No,
No
there was
way.
no. There was a lot of times where everyone took big hits on bands, and it was one of the things we knew about. But yeah, I just got on with it. Made the decision not to do coin sponsors, and started getting more opportunities to make money away from coin sponsors, to cover it basically, and continue the journey towards doing YouTube and supporting the family. But I
I was
got a
gonna say,
house out of
even
it.
now, you can't argue that at
No,
all.
that's it. Got a house out of it and got a few Team of the Year players as well. Win.
That's crazy. When you initially made the jump from being a mechanic to saying, you sat down with Natalie and you're like, hey, like, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
Was there any pushback at first? Because I even know with me where it felt like the internet was a lot more developed. And, it was a lot more obvious that people were making money off it, I guess, a few years ago versus 2012. Was there pushback originally, or was it just like full blown like support?
Oh no, there's a massive pushback because Natalie just had Jack, who was 3 months old.
Oh wow!
So there was
What a time to decide to do it. Yeah, fuck.
There's me like, I'm gonna play video games for a living and support my 3-month-old brand new son into the world. But Natalie didn't really understand it. My family didn't really understand it, but it was actually Natalie's mum, which was like, look, it's a one in a lifetime opportunity to be able to go for it, and you've got your qualification to fall back on if needed, which I do. I'm a fully qualified mechanic. Just go for it and see what happens. And that was 10 years ago. And here we are now. 10 years.
That's insane.
Yeah, it's mental.
It's a long time. I was gonna say, if you weren't doing this, what were you gonna do? Would you still be a mechanic, or is there anything else you would have
I would have
wanted
been
to do?
sacked. No, I would have been sacked. I don't
For
know what I
pissing
would have
people
done.
off?
Well, my manager was a prick. My workmates were pricks. I just don't get on with people booking her. I don't know what I would have done. I probably could have turned out quite bad. But luckily,
Damn.
yeah. I don't know, I was quite a quiet person, but now I'm quite loud. Actually, no, I'm still quite quiet. On streams, I'm quite loud, but I do like my chill time. But I probably would have moved away from it because I've always stuck by that philosophy. If you're not enjoying what you're doing, find something else. And it's like this.
Yeah.
This isn't a job because I'm doing what I enjoy. And it's never a job when you do what you enjoy. That's saying that someone could enjoy cleaning toilets, but it's still a job, That's probably what I do now, cleaning toilets at a local leisure centre.
I know you said that you plateaued, which I'm not saying you have, and I don't think you have, because it seems like all it takes is like one little spark on the internet, and just everything just starts, just going again.
Yeah.
Just with anybody, like anybody at all. Like I think an example too was like the Sidemen when I guess I don't want to say they were becoming a little bit irrelevant when they started doing all the diss track things to like basically bring themselves back into the limelight, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's basically what I'm saying. If it were all to end today, would you want to get into like commentary? Like what would be the next steps for you?
I'll probably go behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes instead of being in front of a camera at all?
Yeah, I think I'd be a good community manager.
Really?
What do you think? I don't know. I think I would.
I feel like you'd be fine at it, but I also feel like you've been
what
on
else would I
camera
be
for
good
so
at,
many
though?
years that I feel like you could do commentary and stuff. Could you not? You have like no interest in like any of that at all?
Nah, because I slip too many swear words out and stuff. I'm very northern. I can't help it. I was brought up around mechanics. I just swear. But I think I would want to stay in the industry. I absolutely love gaming. I love the community the FIFA side has. I also like the community other games have. But if you look at the size of gaming, it is huge. But like I think it's bigger than the music industry. I think it potentially could be bigger than the film industry as well.
It is. It has gotten crazy. One of the things that I said that I'd want to do, and I'd just throwing it past you as well. I think it'd be fun to be an agent, like for like gamers or streamers or something too. Because I think we've both had experiences where things have gone great, and we've had experience where things have not been so great.
I know someone who's done that. Tobias Gaming.
Yeah.
So he's stopped becoming a content creator. He was still a content creator. He worked for Net for a little bit, but he always said like years ago to me, he goes, he wants to like manage talent. He wants to do that. I was like, dude, if you ever get a chance to do it, do it. And I think like a month or so ago, he became the head of gaming for Intertalent, which is a very big agency. He's absolutely loving it. 2 years ago, he had hair. Now he's bald as fuck. He's like me, minus
Is
the
he
facial hair.
really?
Yeah. So he's heading. I mean, not
Jeez.
seen it. Are you in Discord?
Yeah, you can send over on Discord too.
Right. So if you look
Uh,
at Discord general, there's a picture of him there, and there's a picture of him currently with the bald head. There's a picture of what he looked like 2 years ago.
I'm gonna go take a look right now. One of the other things I wanted to ask you, we asked Bugs Club last week on the
Dude,
podcast.
Bugs Club's mustache is horrific, right?
It's
I know your Spotify viewers can't see it, but my God, I go in his stream every morning. I'm like, what the hell is that on your lip?
dude. I mean, everybody has their look, man. You know, I don't know. I think it's good, but one of the things we asked him was, it seems like a lot of people that I guess like wanted to get into like content creation and stuff. I mean, I don't even know if there were cameras around at this time for you, but basically when they were younger, they would, film videos of themselves, so like home videos, or they do like trick shots, whatever it is. Did you have any experience like that at all, or like what made you want to get on the camera?
Only sexting. That was the only camera work I had up until that point.
Jesus Christ,
And
dude.
to be fair, back in 2012 to probably 2014, webcams were not a thing on gaming videos. You get away with purely comment. If you go back book on old videos, the only person in
I
FIFA
think I
doing
remember.
camera
Yeah.
was KSI. He was the only person. Nep.
Is that what propelled him faster than anybody else, you think?
Yeah, because KSI's videos now would be heavily relevant, wouldn't they? Imagine if someone like KSI popped up now with videos like that. It'd be awesome to
Yeah.
watch. But then there was the commentators, which was the likes of Skills. No one knew what Skills looked like apart from an event he attended. He never had camera in his videos. Nep never had camera in his videos. I think people were introduced to my face when I did a Gamescom vlog. And prior to that, no one ever saw my face. Would it help
That's
now?
crazy.
I think if you're going to test the waters, load up your live stream, go and sit and just chatting. And just chat to people. I think that would be a massive... If you can sit there and talk to people on Twitch and do nothing and just chat to people on a camera.
And just react to videos or whatever it is.
That's a new thing, isn't it? Yeah, react to other people's content instead of making content yourself. That works.
Don't sound too happy about that.
I've never have been a fan of it though. Like, as soon as people drop out, like someone spent ages on a video. Like, imagine you, Buck, right? You do 100 share plays of like 82 plus packs. I literally get your video. I was saying this to Marshall. I was like, what would happen, right? Haber does share play videos now, right? He does like 20 icon packs. And I imagine instantly he uploads that. I pull it, watch it, react to it for like 10 minutes, and then re-upload it with the same title. But it's me. It's me reacting to him packing the same stuff. Like that's the thing. People spend a long time working on videos. I don't know. It's a weird one. I understand why people do it, but I do have values, What do you think of him? You like him, I can tell.
I watch some of them. I think it's funny, but there's also ones where I don't know how much you watch, like the NBA or like, basketball community, where it's like Cash Nasty and Flight Reacts, and they do it where I think they're such good friends and they know they're just making each other money. Where like Flight will upload a video, Cash will react and just sit there and laugh at him, because usually it's Flight losing, which these like basketball YouTubers do like 1v1 things against other YouTubers.
Yeah.
One of them will sit there and laugh at them and say how much they suck, and then he'll react to this guy like talking about how like talking shit about him, and then he'll react, and they do like 6 videos, and it's like, dude, what the hell is going on right now?
6 videos out of one?
Out of like one original video, they'll just go back and forth, just yelling at each other and like their terrible takes on each other. And maybe it won't be 6.
That sounds awesome. That sounds awesome though.
But it'd be like something where it'd be like you and Castro doing that. It feels like it'd be like good friends versus, just ripping off just like random videos on the internet and just like casually talking shit about them the entire time.
Yeah. I'd enjoy watching what you just described, which is going back and forth, like them reacting to your video and then like, wow, I'm going to react to him reacting to me. What the fuck? I'm not putting it with that. That'd be funny. But
and they both have... Go ahead.
The ones I don't like are the ones which, like, someone's uploaded a banging video. Mr. Beast, Mr. Beast videos. Oh, let's watch this so we can get it on our YouTube channel with the same title, similar thumbnail. and try and steal clicks from him onto us. And a lot of people do that, and I don't like that. I think that's quite scummy, you know. Even though the videos are amazing, Mr. Beast videos, I can sit there and watch, but I enjoy watching it by myself in my own time and giggle away to myself, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, that makes sense.
Then 1v1v1v1. That sounds fun. I might have to start.
It's incredible because they both have like they basically have like green screen backgrounds. So one of them will be in one corner, one of them be in the other corner. And by the fourth video, there's two of each of them on the screen because they move their live reaction to another part of it. And at some points you lose track of like who's yelling at who. It's pretty incredible.
That sounds awesome. I have to watch that.
It's funny. It's really, really funny. One of the things, I guess one of the last questions I wanted to ask you was, and I don't even know if you'd really be able to answer this. When you
I did used to have hair.
Used to have hair. When was the last time you had hair? That wasn't the question, but we can go to that one.
Okay.
When was it?
Well,
the last time you had hair.
I was born bald. As soon as I came out, the doctor shouted, "Phelps!" You know? Streamline.
Idiot. There's actually one other story too I wanted to say, and it'd be a funny one to end this. Because I guess it's cool having you on because you were around the scene forever. Was there one YouTuber that like really surprised you, like at the beginning, where you maybe thought like, maybe he'll do this, but he's not going to get massive. But there were like, fast forward 10 years later, and they're huge, or was it pretty obvious who was going to be the big ones at the time?
So I always make bad judgments on people. Usually I make good judgments, but there's a few ones I make bad ones. Danny Aarons, for example.
Really? I
had that little shit blocked. He was a fucking tosser on Twitter, and I thought, what a little weird cretin guy this is. And he's just memeing people. It's just boring. It's like, but I just looked at it from the outside. I didn't actually watch his content. I just saw what he was doing on Twitter, and he's basically like making jokes of people. I took it offensively one time because, like, you know me, but I was like quite offended by people who took shots. And he did it on me. Yeah. I was like, daft little prick. But then I actually unblocked him maybe last year, and he was already big at this point. But I never watched his content. But I started watching his content. I thought, this is actually really funny. Like, just the conversations that he has. He was streaming on Facebook as well, so I was able to like see what he did there, and I can see why he was big. But I just didn't see it because I blocked him, and I thought, what a little twat. But he's actually done a really, really good job. He's still only young as well.
He's super young, and he's funny. He's super talented. Yeah. He's doing it all right.
Chris MD, I saw him start from the bottom and go to where he was now. And I know you're a massive fan of Chris as well.
I am, yeah.
Rota Shaw, I was around when he was doing the faking stuff, and I was thinking he's going to be massive. But then I was like, he faked something, and everyone's creating a massive uproar. But he was faking it to make it, and it worked. And he's absolutely massive now.
He's untouchable now. It's insane. It's crazy. Yeah.
Literally all of the sidemen, them guys I saw at the very bottom, apart from JJ, but then JJ brought up the UK scene. But yes, seeing them thinking, nothing will happen from them. But as a collective, absolutely insane.
That's wild. One of the last stories I want to end on, just because it's a funny one, and I don't even know if you'd remember this, but I think I still have the clip of it, is when it was a pain in the ass for you to order MLS jerseys. I don't know if you remember this. It was a pain in the ass, and you're like, hey, you did it during my stream. You had no fucking shame at all. You came in during the stream, and you're like, hey, can you order me these jerseys? And you're like sending all the photos in like while I'm trying to fucking stream, and I'm like, sure, like I will order them for you, right? And then you purposely like could have easily sent me. There's actually a few parts to the story. I'm realizing you could have easily sent me the money for these jerseys, right? Like discreetly. It didn't have to be on stream. It could have been, hey, here's the money, family and friends, whatever. And you donated $500, and the entire chat thinks you're like a fucking godsend at this point. I'm like, guys, the worst part is you ruined donations for the rest of the night because everybody's like, oh yeah, fuck off. Buck already got $500 tonight. Damn, and I'm pretty sure I was in the hole because PayPal took a cut of everything as well at the time too.
I'm gonna do. So, you tell the full story, but I've got something at the end which is gonna make it 10 times better.
Okay, so what ended up happening was we buy all these jerseys, we order them to my mom's house. I think my mom buys all this stuff for your daughter and your son, and like she has like all this like Cardinals gear and all of this. I don't know.
And they still play with that now, by the way. I absolutely love your mom. And
Does she?
them little footballs and stuff, the kids still play with them. So one
That's
day
super
she'll get to
awesome.
meet him as well. I can't wait for that to happen.
No, it'd be cool. But this is where we're going with the story. And I don't know if you remember this. You sent me a photo of Ava and you're like, hey, send this to your mom. And it was like her wearing like the Cardinals headband or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I go on your stream the next day and I think I like resubbed. And first I got bitched at because there's a tier 2 and not a tier 3. And which is, for those of you guys listening that don't know, it's the difference between paying $10 and $25 a month to get yelled at by Bateson.
Yeah.
So I chose the
Especially when you're a good
$10
friend of mine.
option. And so you sent me the photo and you said, send this to your mom. And then you literally, you like stopped the music. You remember this shit.
I remember what's going to happen.
You stopped the music and you go, Buck Army has a photo of my daughter on his phone. You fucking nonce. That's what you yelled at me.
I was going to go back and check that now, but oh my God. I just realized we could set him up very, very nicely. So, not only did I screw you over with the money, and the
you literally had the entire chat think I was a pedophile, dude, is what ended up happening as well.
Well, I think it was only a temporary thing. People got over it anyway. Is that why you went to Facebook? But so the reason I got you to buy it was because the MLS were like, "Oh, we don't do UK orders," but that wasn't the case. I just had a wrong setting on my account. So now,
are you kidding me?
I could have literally bought it myself and got it. I mean, not noticed. I'm rocking MLS jerseys all the time now. And again,
I didn't know who you were hosing this time around, dude.
No, so I just buy it myself. I just go on there, don't have to pay PayPal, friends or family or anything. So I think at least you got called a nonce. That's one positive from the story, isn't it?
The last thing I actually want to say, because once again, I know some of my friends listen to this, and they probably don't know what the word nonce. It's like a pedo, basically, right?
Pedophile.
There you go. I just don't know if we're going to get demonetized or anything on Spotify for that, but it's the risk you take. The last thing I remember was which I don't know if Little P is one of my friends. He's a streamer as well, for those that are listening. If he ever relayed this message to you, do you remember the nonce story in your stream with him?
About his uncle, right?
I don't. No. That's a different laugh. But basically, like, once again, the reason I'm disclaiming this to everybody about how nonce means what it does, Little P had no idea what it meant, okay? And he was a moderator for you, which, for those guys listening, he's running the chat and making sure people weren't calling Bateson a dickhead. Some kid would come in and he'd be like, hey, Bateson, I have 200 K-Packs. Do you want to open them? And Little P was under the impression that nonce meant no chance. That's what he thought it meant, okay?
Oh, no.
So Little P, on his streaming account, was whispering kids saying nonce afterwards because he thought like the kids would understand that it meant no chance. But Little P ended up messaging like 15 kids calling them pedophiles because they wanted you to open up 200 K-Packs for him. And did
he ever get banned?
No, I don't think he ever got banned. It was
my God. He's lucky he's probably getting the American. Yeah, because that word probably isn't used in America quite often. And that's all he would have
never.
playing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he finally, like, something clicked. And I remember he called me on the phone. He's like, dude, I have to tell you something. Like, this is really bad. And like, I think he tried to go back through and apologize to everybody and say that he didn't mean to do it.
I think he was watching my stream when I called someone a nonce. But then I give it an explanation like, oh, that guy's a right pedo. And then Little P like clicked. And I think you got the phone call not after and you told me about it. Honestly, so I miss the early mornings Twitch. Like waking up, watching Pete, even Little Pete at some point, and it was like a continued story all the way throughout the day, wasn't it? Like something would always happen between you and Pete in the morning. They'd roll into my stream.
Somebody would talk shit, and then it would just continue to go and go and go. It was.
And now we don't have that. Yeah, fun though.
You can make other friends, dude. You're more than welcome to.
Nah, people don't like me. They say I'm fat. I don't know where
nobody says you're fat.
Nah, they
off, dude.
Little bitch.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, Vegas was good though, wasn't it?
Now I was gonna say we'll make sure we plan that for August, and we'll bring you back on at a time where we can get absolutely shithoused on the stream, which works.
What about a live podcast from Vegas?
In Vegas?
In Vegas.
I'd be down. I'll try to convince Zoo to actually show up on time this time.
I know. So who's the guy who used to watch my videos, by the way? Is this the editor of this podcast?
No, he's my co-host of this podcast. His name's Zoo. He's 21 years old. He's from Canada. And basically the whole reason this thing started a year ago is he messaged me. He's like, hey, I really want to do a podcast. I'll edit, I'll do this. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Like I'm down. Like, and he's a funny kid. So,
Yeah.
we'll make it happen in Vegas, but thank you for taking the time to do this. I know you have to be up early. So
No, I'll definitely do it again. I'll bring some beverages, some English beverages, some Old Mount cider. I know you like that when you're in England.
that's what I think. I literally kept trying to remember. It was the fruity cider the entire time.
Oh, dude. I would say I could get Moscow mules, but I'm stupid. I don't know how to make them. But the Moscow mules, they're good. But yeah, this will do for now. You don't have to keep me awake for a little bit. Fun, though.
Right,
I appreciate being on. And I will get to meet soon.
No, you will, definitely. If you guys have made it this far in the podcast, if you leave a 5-star rating, it makes Spotify think we're a little bit better than we are. Bateson, I just jumbled the last 5 words of that, but thank you for coming on. And hopefully August will be the next one.
Hopefully. Well, if not, we can do one before. Just before
That
FIFA 23. We'll get drunk. We'll get absolutely blotted. You guys like 3-hour podcasts? Because I got some stories. I don't
We'll be
know
ready
Spotify
for
for
it. All right. We'll see you guys next time.